Yep,
I don't see Eric on.
Eric's
Eric's
on.
here. Eric is here.
Oh, okay, there he is in the middle. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. And note the flag in my office, please.
Yes.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of
of
the United States of America,
America,
To
And
the
to the
republic,
republic for which it
stands
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty
liberty,
and
and
justice
justice.
for all.
Thank you. Mrs. Town Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Kitchen,
Yes.
Councilman Morrow,
Yes.
Councilman Secreto,
Yes.
Councilman Van Cleek,
Yes,
and Supervisor Quigley.
Yes, thank you very much, and welcome to the Town of Ulster Town Board Workshop meeting for Thursday, February 4th. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda?
None from me.
no,
Just as a note to the town board, the agenda that was posted this morning did not include the item on the bottom of page 1, the 2021 poll site agreement. This is the standard agreement between the town of Ulster and Ulster County Board of Elections, allowing them to use the senior center for the election polling places, and it was received in the town clerk's office this afternoon, so it has been put on the agenda at the last minute. With that said, any members of the public that are on that wish to discuss agenda items? Hearing none. Do we have communications?
I did receive an email today. I did not pass it around to the town board because it is repetitive of several emails that have been received before. The town clerk's office, am I on mute? Hopefully not. Town
No.
clerk's office continues to receive correspondence from a City of Kingston resident, Clark Richters, former producer at Channel 23 Public Access, asking the town for cable access funding from the town's cable franchise fees that it receives. I explained to Mr. Richters the purpose of cable franchise fees and that at this time the town utilizes other means of posting public notices and news, including Facebook, YouTube, and the Daily Freeman News, all of which are free to us. The latest correspondence received today, he's asking the town for $5,000 to support public access TV.
Gentlemen, the topic of public access TV has been one that has come around and come around and come around ever since the city of Kingston stopped supporting public access TV, and the public access T operations were exiled to the town of Esopus computer room, where the channel is now run by volunteers, and they're basically doing no live shows. Everything is being produced, recorded, and then broadcast. Many times the same meeting is broadcast repeatedly. We have had a number of conversations, communications requesting Town of Ulster funding. I would like, and I ask at this point in time, that the town board go on the record for the year 2021 as to its desires to fund public access TV.
I don't personally think we should fund it for a variety of reasons, because not all providers of TV service post it. For example, I don't get it with DirecTV, which is satellite TV, and
Okay,
I'm sure others don't.
Well, like Susie mentioned, you got Facebook and there's too many social media places where we can get the word out to something and he's broadcasting everything late.
well,
You know.
the issue I have right now is that our budget for 2021 is locked in. We have been asked for $5,000. It's not in the budget. We continue to be advised that there is additional possibilities of cutbacks from the state. So our revenue stream from outside of the tax world is challenged. So I would make a request for a motion to go on the record that the town of Ulster is not in the position to fund public access TV in the calendar year 2021.
I
I'll
would
make that
make-
motion.
We have a second.
All right, second it.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Kitchen.
No access TV here.
Okay. Councilman Morrow.
No to access TV.
Councilman Secreto.
No access TV.
Councilman Van Cleek.
In favor of the motion, which means no, or whatever.
And Supervisor Quigley.
I am not in favor of considering funding public access TV in 2021 due to the financial issues that the town of Ulster faces in general operations. With that being said, I will move to, are there any other communications?
No
None?
further communications. No.
Under new business, the first item is our tax collection data to January 31st. That is actually a misnomer, I believe, because the tax collection data that is being presented is reflective of the full satisfaction as of this afternoon of the town of Ulster's tax warrant in the amount of $14,190,875.11. We have collected 100% of our tax warrant, and the town clerk notified the Commissioner of Finance of Ulster County this afternoon via email that we have satisfied our tax collection requirements for the town, and that all monies now received going forward will be for the account of Ulster County. Any questions?
No.
Just want to comment that clerks did a wonderful job.
They put in more hours in January than I did.
Thank you, John. Councilman.
Is there anything you want to add to what I said about tax collection?
Just that our total collection is a little bit over 19 million, and to date, we have collected about 73% of that. And we collect until June 1st, so we're in a good, we're moving in a good direction.
There's no material difference between the pace we're on this year and what we've experienced in the prior years.
Right. Last
We
year,
are-
we satisfied it on February 3rd, so it's just the
Yeah.
same.
Personnel, we have the second item.
Yes. This is a letter from Eric Molinaro. He's an MEO with the Highway Department. This is a resignation letter. This letter is to inform the town of Ulster of my 2 weeks' notice at the Highway Department, that my final day at the town will be February 12th, 2021. And I'd like to say that Eric is leaving in good faith and he's just going to another opportunity. And make a motion to approve this.
I will second the motion. Roll call, please.
Councilman Kitchen,
Yes.
Councilman Morrow,
Yes.
Councilman Secreto,
Yes.
Councilman Van Cleek,
Yes,
Supervisor Quigley.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Morrow, as the two next items came out of the Police Commission meeting this afternoon, would you like to take those?
My printer wouldn't print my agenda here.
Okay. First item, the Police Commission reported to the floor of the town board a request of Chief Berardi to purchase one 2021 Police Interceptor. And I wanted to note that it is fully gas powered for this purchase, and it's being purchased under the Westchester County contract RFBWC 19093 from Buyer Ford for $35,974.75. I think it's important to note that the last four vehicles that the town of Ulster has purchased for the police department have been the police hybrid models. We have two models that are in service, that have been in service for almost a year now. They have between 22 and 23,000 miles on it. The second two are just being put into service, as they were only delivered in December of this year and have completed fit out in January. The purchase of a fifth hybrid would represent about 50% of the police interceptor fleet being of a hybrid configuration, which at this point in time has not proven itself from our point of view for an operational, from an operational standpoint. So we are making a recommendation that we go back and purchase, at least for this one vehicle, a fully gas powered vehicle until we get some more miles and more operating experience with the hybrid vehicles. So may I have a motion to authorize the purchase?
So
I'll
I'll
moved.
make it. Second.
Any discussion? Roll
Councilman,
call.
Councilman Kitchen,
Yes.
Councilman Morrow,
Yes.
Councilman Secreto,
Yes.
Councilman Van Cleek,
yes,
Supervisor Quigley,
Yes, thank you. The next item is a motion to declare one 2015 police Ford Interceptor and one 2016 police Ford Interceptor as surplus and authorize the public bid of this for the sale of said vehicles. May I have a motion,
Make a
please?
motion. I'll motion that.
Need a second? I'll do it.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Kitchen,
Yes.
Councilman Morrow,
Yes.
Councilman Secreto,
Yes.
Councilman Van Cleek,
yes,
Supervisor Quigley.
Yes, thank you. The next item under our new business agenda is a motion to authorize the town clerk to sign the 2021 poll site agreement for the use by the Ulster County Board of Elections of the Town of Ulster Senior Center here at One Town Hall Drive. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Kitchen,
Yes.
Councilman Morrow,
Yes.
Councilman Secreto,
Yes.
Councilman Van Cleek,
yes,
Supervisor Quigley.
Yes, thank you. Going to old business. There is a resolution in our package granting a one-year extension of an amended site plan approval for Ulster Hospitality LLC with consent of 1561 Ulster Properties LLC. This is for the construction of a suite-based hotel on the vacant pad site adjacent to the medical office building across the street from Adams. This project was originally approved in 2019, but due to the effects on the marketplace of COVID-19 and the effects on the town of Ulster's operations, the resolution is only being presented now when the site plan expired last September. So I'll ask for a motion to accept the resolution.
I'll
So
make it.
moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Kitchen,
Yes.
Councilman Morrow,
Yes.
Councilman Secreto,
Yes.
Councilman Van Cleek,
yes,
Supervisor Quigley.
Yes, thank you. At the last meeting, there were two laws introduced to the town board. The first law was a local law providing for the creation of an office of a town controller. I would like a motion to set a public hearing for February 18th. Is that our next scheduled meeting? Yes. At 7:10 PM, and I ask that the town clerk advertise said public hearing. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a
So-
motion.
Second.
Councilman Kitchen,
Yes.
Councilman Morrow,
Yes.
Councilman Secreto,
Yes.
Councilman Van Cleek,
yes,
and Supervisor Quigley.
Yes. The next item on the agenda relates to the presentation at the last meeting of a fill and grading law for the town of Ulster. I'm going to ask for a motion to set a public hearing for February 18th, 2021 at 7:15 PM for said local law. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second.
Councilman Kitchen,
yes,
Councilman Morrow,
Yes.
Councilman Secreto,
yes,
Councilman Van Cleek,
yes,
Supervisor Quigley.
Yes, thank you. The next item on our agenda is a housekeeping resolution adopting the 2021 town fee schedule that was finalized and distributed this afternoon. May I have a motion to accept the resolution as presented?
I'll make that motion.
I'll
second,
Councilman Kitchen,
yes,
Councilman Morrow,
Yes.
Councilman Secreto,
yes,
Councilman Van Cleek,
yes,
Supervisor Quigley.
Yes, thank you. As it is 7:21, and the town's grant consultant, Mark Blauer, has now joined our Zoom session. Mark, will you please explain the purposes of tonight's public hearing?
Yes, Supervisor. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Blauer. I'm a grant writer who works for the town. I started working for the town in 1983. I've worked on a lot of projects, water, sewer, storm drainage, road projects. In July of last year, we should have had an opportunity to submit a 2020 Small Cities Grant application for an amount not to exceed $750,000. All that program was much delayed. On December 29th, that program was re-announced with applications due March 5. The intention last summer was to build upon the success of Katrine Lane and Spring Lake Phase 1 and to consider an application for the completion of the Spring Lake Sewer District, which we'll call Phase 2. That round never happened. It's now upon us. The main difference is that the program has a higher grant ceiling this year, $1 million versus $750,000. And the hearing tonight has two purposes: to qualify for the grant if we choose to apply, and to give the public an opportunity to suggest ideas, whether it's related to Spring Lake or to any other ideas, so that we can consider future projects. It appears that the applications due March 5 will be probably acted upon in June or July. And when I say 2020, it really is the 2020 program that we're looking at. There may well be a separate 2021 program later this summer and fall, so that the purposes tonight are not only to think about Spring Lake Phase 2, but to think about what future projects the town may have in mind. So the basics are, this is U.S. Department of HUD money appropriated by Congress to the various states. New York State runs the program through the Office of Community Renewal in Albany. They've been running the program since 2000. Each year they have a competitive round for public infrastructure, which we're looking at here. Any given year, they fund about 1/3, maybe 1/4 of the applicants, so that it's imperative to not only have an eligible project, but have a competitive project. We've worked carefully over the years between our engineering staff, my own office, and the town board to pick credible projects. And for the most part, we've been successful, in particular by picking good projects. So we have an advantage, is that the eligibility of Spring Lake was established 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, with an income survey, which is still a valid survey. And also we successfully completed we are successfully completing Phase 1 of Spring Lake. We'll complete it this coming year, 2021, and we completed a very similar project for Katrine Lane very successfully. So we have a good track record of doing this type of low pressure sewer project. So we're looking at a grant application not to exceed $1 million. There appears to be probably no need for any local money on top of that if we keep it under $1 million. We have a project that will complete the Spring Lake Phase 2 project, which is the completion of the Spring Lake Sewer District. And I think has a very viable chance of being funded. But we can't rule out other ideas. If the public has ideas, this is the opportunity. I believe either Dennis or Alan from Bernier and Laris may be present and might be able to add a few things about what we're intending to do with this particular application.
Hi, Mark.
Larry.
It's Dennis. I'm here to answer any questions and provide any information. We have a preliminary design that was done for phase 2 in 2018. We just have to dust up a few changes. Obviously, phase 1 was Spring Lake Drive and Sackaman were squeezed in under phase 1. They're originally supposed to be in phase 2. Everything else with phase 2 is pretty much the same. The supervisor has sent some directives with some things he wants included in phase 2 from a cost point of view, which are all sound ideas, and we're adding in those items. And we're set to go. I think you can have a really strong application for phase 2. And as you said, phase 1 is substantially completed with the exception of some minor work in the spring. And excited to see the second phase move along.
Thank you, Dennis. I would certainly want to anybody who's joined us via Zoom from the public to give us their ideas if they, like projects like this, or if they have other ideas that they'd like us to consider in the future.
Okay, with the introductory statements made, I ask for a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Ladies and gentlemen, the public hearing for the 2020 round of the small cities grant applications by the town of Ulster is open. The town board will be taking public comment and suggestion from residents in the town of Ulster on projects that they would like to see contemplated for a grant application. Mr. Regis Oboleski.
Good evening, folks. Thank you for this opportunity to comment on the town of Ulster application for the Community Development Block Grant through the New York State Office of Community Renewal. We wholeheartedly support the town's intent to apply for a CDBG for the installation of a public sewer system in the Spring Lake district of the town. It is our understanding that this would be phase 2 in the general neighborhood where the public sewer was introduced last year. Speaking with citizens on Catskill Avenue and Gulf Terrace, we can affirm that phase 1 was a great success. The homes in this area are very close to each other and on small parcels. They are modest and occupied by low to moderate income people. This infrastructure improvement suggested for phase 2 appears to be more of a necessity than a convenience. One suggestion, if the rules and the size of the CDBG allows for a one-time partial stipend that would assist neighbors with hookup costs, we would certainly support this measure. We wish you success with your application. That would meet a great need for the Spring Lake neighborhood. Thank you.
Ms. Hartman, you had your hand up.
Yeah, hi, everybody. Thank you. I really appreciate your having this hearing, and I'm very happy to hear that the town of Ulster application for a community development block grant through the New York State Office of Community Renewal. It is my understanding that the town is looking to use these potential funds for the installation of a public sewer system in the Spring Lake district of the town. That you want to use them for phase 2 in my neighborhood where the town installed the first phase of a public sewer last year. This project was welcomed by the neighborhood as we were all very happy with the work that was done. This project was long overdue, and I'm in support of completing the project with your plan of phase 2. I am also requesting, like Regis, that if any funds are left over, if possible, that they can be given to residents who cannot afford to complete the connection from their house to the public system. We are not an affluent neighborhood, and I know some people will have difficulty in getting this work done. Being unemployed, I can say that right now, I am not able to make the connection. I know it's not urgent for me as I'm connected to the city of Kingston. However, I would much prefer to do business with the town of Ulster and reduce the length of piping I would have to deal with if there was ever a problem with my sewer pipes. But I just want to say thank you very much for continuing the work on this much needed and very appreciated project. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public on the call that wish to make a comment? Seeing none, I ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make it.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That closes the public hearing for tonight on the 2020 Small Cities Grant Application Round. Good luck, Mr. Blauer, and Godspeed. That concludes our scheduled agenda for tonight, but I would ask Mr. Van Cleek, who just finished a meeting last night on the police reform efforts within the town, to brief the town on the current status of the committee and the timeline for the work that we have to finish this up.
Okay, in the month of January, the committee conducted 2 public formats on Zoom. Unfortunately, they had to be. But we had 2 effective times, got to get some public input, we had quite a few emails, and we took some notes during the public input. The committee is now taking all that information from the public input and integrating it in with our draft proposal. We met last night to review all the information that we got. Next week, we're going to meet to finalize the document and try to get it out to the town board before the end of this month. I think we will make our schedule. Things seem to be going well. The group that we're meeting with is also interested in continuing to be a resource to the town. So this is not a one-shot operation. To the person, they all seem to be very interested in continuing to be supportive and helpful in the town and the community in matters like this police reform consideration. We will be presenting this document to the town board. So in the workshop session in the beginning of March, we're going to need to review it and discuss it, make whatever changes the town board may deem necessary. And then in the second meeting in the month of March, the town board will have to vote on approval so that the supervisor can sign off on the document and send it to Albany. It must be received in Albany by April 1st. So at this point, we are on schedule. I want to publicly thank everyone that's involved on the committee. These people all volunteered. They came out from the public, great members of our community, diverse. And I also want to thank, there's a few people here today also, Laura and Regis both have been additionally helpful in getting us more public information, and their input also has been valuable. So I was warned in the beginning that it was going to be a difficult task, but I think I can speak for Kyle in saying that for both of us, it has been a task that was a little difficult, but definitely feels like it's worthwhile. I hope you feel the same when we present the final document to you. Any questions?
Mr. Van Cleek, will the workshop meeting in March be the first available date for a report, or will it be available for distribution towards the end of February so that the board members will have an opportunity to read it and discuss it at the workshop meeting?
Presuming that we approve it next Thursday, on Friday, it will be sent to the supervisor for disbursement to the entire board.
Okay,
So we're trying to get it to you ahead of time. So I'm going to ask that everybody read it and get back to me or Chief Berardi with questions, or and I'm going to try to have a session, if possible, at that workshop session to see if some of the committee members would also join the meeting in case you have any questions for them.
fantastic.
One last thing, we are going to include along with the draft, with the document, not a draft, the actual document, we are going to include all of the research material and information that we got from the public that we believe is relevant in an appendix type attachment. So it'll be there for all the board members to see all the background information and work that went into presenting this.
Very good. Any additional questions?
None from me.
Is there any town board member who wishes the floor?
No.
With that, I asked him for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the
So
motion.
moved.
Oh, wait,
hold on.
Laura's got a comment.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to let you all know, I think many of you know Rosalind Stark,
Yes.
who lived in Eddyville for many, many years. She is in the hospital right now and not doing very well at all. She went into the to the hospital on Tuesday, and yesterday morning she had a heart attack. And they also discovered colon cancer, and she's got blood clots. So she's not in very good condition. So I just thought those of you who knew her might want to be aware of that.
Thank
I
you,
will,
Laura.
yeah, it's very sad. She's 101, so but she's been a dear friend to me, and I know a lot of people in this community, so.
She was a science teacher of mine in high school, Kingston High School.
You're dating yourself.
Yeah. Well, from me and the rest of the board, we wish her the best of health right now and good luck.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
I'll pass that message on.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So is there anybody else that has anything? Motion to adjourn, please.
So
Moved.
moved.
All those in
Second.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you at the town board meeting on February 18th. Thank
Yep.
you and have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
All right.